Well, first of all, Lee, congratulations, because it's 2 years since you became the manager of Alexandra this particular week. And how does all that feel? Because in the precarious sort of job that you're in, that's not a bad little feat to go 2 years.
Yeah, it's absolutely flown by. 2 years been really enjoyable. I think as staff we've worked really hard to try and get to a point where we are. Like you say, 2 years is a long time for football managers to keep hold of their job, which I think is a real shame, really sad. Being in the position I'm in now, things take time. You need time, you need some calmness in the background when you're trying to organise and build things. So it's a shame when you think 2 years is a long time in a job, but we get into these positions and we know what can happen. But really enjoying it, and hopefully we can get some success along the way.
Just looking back on the last two games away from home, two points on the board as well, and late goals in both of those. What can that do for the players?
Well, I just think it really reiterates the character and the drive that the group have. They never give up. They work tirelessly throughout games. I think it shows that we've got quality on the pitch. So you need to stay in the games and not think they're just going to peter out. Because we've got quality on the pitch, we've got players who can pop up with the moments, like we've had to do, in the last two away games. But the character and the mentality in the group is outstanding, and they know if they keep on working hard, keep on making the runs, keep on taking risks, them opportunities will come up.
You're now entering that month of December, which everybody knows is a busy month with a lot of points at stake. You've got yourselves in a great position. It must be a good feel about where you are.
Yeah, we're obviously pleased with where we are in the league, but it is really early still, isn't it, in terms of the league? And again, I keep reiterating, you look at teams who are sitting outside the playoffs, a couple of wins, and you're swapping positions. But we're really pleased. The squad's looking quite healthy. We'll have to be mindful going into the fixture list over Christmas in terms of minutes, and we're going to have to change teams and individuals, and they probably won't be happy if they're in the team, but we've got to be sensible with it, and we've got to do what we think's right.
Playing a huge part in the success that you've had in the first 17 games in the league, and being your lone players. We spoke to Ryan last week, and he was saying that work was going on to try and get them all to stay for the second part of the season. Have you got any progress on that? Not
particularly any progress in terms of where we're at with it. There's obviously conversations going on. I don't like to, as a management team, we don't like to overhaul the squad and think that 3 or 4 new faces. We think the players that we've brought in are doing really well, adding value to the group. Obviously some are starting more than others, but we'd like to keep all our lone players, and I think again, you can be biased, but surely the lone players are getting what they needed to get, and the experiences with us, they're not always guaranteed that if they go back and they go out somewhere else that they're going to get the same sort of minutes and experiences that they're getting here. But hopefully we can keep everybody. I don't anticipate it being a busy January for us in terms of bringing players in. So we want to try and keep the lone players that we can.
Last time out in the league at home, you got an excellent result, winning, and a big crowd and a good atmosphere. Going to be a bit similar again come this weekend with the opposition that's arriving at the Mournflake Stadium. And you've mentioned many times how key it is to get that home form going. You had a blip a few months ago, but you're right on form at home.
Yeah, it's really important. You again, it comes along with consistency. If you can pick up more results at home and do what we're doing now and again, we would obviously like more away wins than what we're getting. But home crowd and form's really important. The players should feel confident going into the game with what's gone by, the Notts County game, how they performed. So it's a game that we're looking forward to, a game that we've got to be mindful of. We're playing against a good opposition, but a game we should be looking forward to.
Yeah, they arguably are the biggest supporting club in League Two are Bradford. They're another one of many striving to be at least in that top 7 by the end of the season. What are you expecting? You would have looked at and you would have done your homework in the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. We're playing against a good team, and like I've just said, they obviously will. I think that where they sit in the league, obviously outside the playoffs, but it's that tight, that close. I'm sure Graham's not getting carried away and too disappointed. Obviously they'd love to be higher in the league, but he'll know as well, a few results put together and you're propelled right up the league. It's that tight. So we're in for a real tough game. Like I say, they'll bring a good away following. I expect us to have a good home support. But we know what we've got to look like in terms of what we think we can improve on Saturday, even though we were away from home. So we're looking for improvements on our side, and particularly with the football. But we know what strengths they've got. They've got some athleticism into the team. Obviously Cook will be out for Saturday, but they still possess some power up there, and Oliver could come in. So they still possess some power up there in terms of height. But it'll be a really tough game.
And it's another one of those big games. You know, it's got some TV coverage as well, so you're in the spotlight. It's an earlier kick-off as well, and down to you when you get over the white line for your players.
Yeah, and we're saying this more regularly now, aren't we, about because of where we lie in the league. But I think with the Sky cameras being there, I think that's something everybody's got to get used to, because the majority of games are going to be on telly, and it's only going to get more and more. You know, we were speaking about the 3 o'clock watershed, weren't we, the other day, in terms of scrapping that. So it's only going to get more and more. So people need to get used to that, in terms of it being, sometimes when a League Two game was picked in the past, it was aimed as being a spectacle type of two teams, maybe at the top end of the table. But I think it's something we've got to get used to. And we want big games, and the only way they keep coming is by us putting on performances.
We know what's coming. It's always Thursday. It's always somewhere in the interview. Where are we with the treatment room in terms of Kane Hemmings, Connor Thomas and Omar Burgle?
Yeah, Kane is obviously going to be a little bit longer term, a few weeks away, but things are looking good. He's been to St George's Park to do some rehab and use some of the equipment they've got there, which is great. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I think we'll get more of an idea exactly when we're going to look to reintroduce him to the team. CT will be with the group this morning doing a little bit, so that's good news. It's just a conversation between us, the physios, and CT to see exactly where he's at and what minutes he could potentially get. So that's really pleasing. Omar, again, we're just going to look at later on in the week and just see where he's at in terms of, are we going to take a risk with him or not. But with the bodies that we've got available, you know, you've got to be mindful that you don't need to make a silly decision. But we'll find out. Say later on in the week, it's Thursday, and we'll find out tomorrow.